Well, hello. How's it going, everybody? So, geez, I am bright. How's it going, everyone? Skylar here. This is your first stream of mine. Just know I do these streams every single Sunday. I do them about random topics, but you can always hop on, ask any questions. This channel is directed towards newer people into the space, so if you have any questions, onboarding, anything like that, hopping on, asking any questions, this is what the Sunday streams are for. But if you guys don't, then I'll just ramble, and yeah. Also, just know, I might be switching these Sunday. I'll be doing them Sunday every Sunday, and I'll be doing the same YouTube thing. I think I'm just going to change the verbiage of it to podcast, just because a lot of times I just realize you don't even need to be looking at the screen. I'm just like talking about stuff, answering questions, whatever. However, I do sometimes go on the screen and click around and whatever, but probably 95% of it you wouldn't need to. So background, I like crypto stuff that you can listen to in the background, so you're not like fully engaged, so you can be doing something else, right? But yeah, today we're going to, I've actually done this before. I made a video about it. I think I've done two actually. And I go over it in much more detail. So if you want to go in my live streams and just check back, but I haven't talked about it since I had like 2,000 subscribers. So I figured, hey, might as well talk about it. And essentially what I'm going to go over today is briefly, again, it'd be fun to do this in a full video, but all that stuff takes time. Man, I've actually spent a lot of time back on anyways, I don't even want to say it, a video I've been excited to make and I've been putting off because it takes a lot of research, hundreds of pages of research I've already gone through, almost 1,000 actually, but anyways, so yeah, today we're just going to kind of talk about it. And by the way, I just hit 3.5 subscribers. Heck yeah, super appreciate it, you guys. 90+% of the people that watch my videos aren't even subscribed. So I don't know how you guys get pushed my videos, but I super appreciate you guys clicking on. And just know, here's the deal, you guys. I've been in this industry since 2016, every day since 2017. I have seen so much shady nonsense. Like, we're just like, I don't know, this industry is crazy. And so it took me a while to navigate through these waters. So I'm trying to help people navigate through those waters. So, hey, if anybody's watching, it is new, just know that's what this channel is about. But we're going to go over, and by the way, if you guys have any questions as well, you can just hop on Twitter. Skystrut Crypto is my Twitter handle. You can just DM me. I'm on this all the time, right? And at the very top of my profile, I post all my trades. So I don't even know any other YouTuber that does that, but anyways, whatever. Sometimes I change the pin tweet, but I didn't even change it when I interviewed Fabian, right? But anyways, so if you kind of want to see what projects I like, I am going to be doing a more in-depth buys, sells, everything. I'm going to take, I don't know, $10,000 or something. I think that'd be fun. But at any rate, yeah. Geez, that's one of my things I always say, at any rate. So, we're going to kind of go over, and I guess let's crack this guy open. It's funny, it's green. So you see the green screen. Wait, can you even see it with this? I need like a more solid background. Oh, there we go. It's like gray. Make water fun. My wife got it for me. Space Goat. It's like from Montana. It's a pale ale. It's kind of cool on the green screen, huh? Big Sky Brewing. I go to Montana actually quite a bit for work. I fly out there for a few days. Space Goat Pale Ale. Anyways, like shaking it up on camera. Oh, that's actually, I'm not really a beer guy. TBH. That's not too shabby. Anyways, so yeah. Let's kind of, okay, I found this chart online. I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit, but there's events in here that aren't really relevant to what I'm talking about, and there's events in here that should be in here that aren't. From what I'm, ooh, I didn't even realize they talked about Bitcoin in this. But it is really important to know kind of how money has been. Money's not changed, you guys, for thousands of years. There's only been like a few forms of money, successful forms, right? And the form that we're on right now, fiat currency, it is proven to be a 100% failure rate. And in fact, you can actually, and the whole world is on this currency, by the way, right now. You can go back in history hundreds and hundreds of times. They follow the same exact pattern as well. And so what we're doing right now with the economy, this has been predicted since the 80s, 90s, right? This is not like it's all of a sudden like, whoa, what happened? Ever since we went off precious metals, which I think it does talk about this. Yeah, in 1971, we went on a fiat currency standard, which we're going to talk about what that is. But first, let's kind of rewind and talk about kind of where money came from. And I feel like it's important to know because a lot of people don't see the value of Bitcoin. And I feel like if you understood how money works, and how money's always worked in the history in the past, and then you would see the value of Bitcoin, of a money system like Bitcoin. So that's what we're going to go over. So anyways, in early days, you would have a bartering system. This is way back, right? 3000 BC. So first forms of money were trading. And I actually saw something stating that it wasn't actually the first forms of money. I can't remember what it actually was. But at any rate, bartering, right? Seashells. Then you'd find these kind of semi-rare items. And eventually, precious metals came into play. So precious metals came into play. Let me turn that down a little bit. So this is the form of money that has become most popular and has stuck around the longest. And that's precious metals, right? So gold and silver, right? Lots of other precious metals, but those are the most popular. So these precious metals were used because it was rare. You couldn't find it very often. You had to it took a lot of time, effort, and money to take this out of the earth, and there was only a limited resource. Nobody could fake this, right? So nobody could pretend like it was gold. There was like fool's gold, and yeah, there's a couple, but nothing really that was, that lasted. It just tricked people for a sec until people knew about it, and then it never worked again, right? So this is important because you can't really create this out of thin air. Now again, like fish and apples and all that sort of stuff, when you bartered, that has worth and value, but not every fish is the same, not every apple is the same. And so but they were able to do that with precious metals. So precious metals lasted a really long time. And then all of a sudden they took these precious metals, because people aren't going to be walking around with metal in their pocket all the time. China ended up introducing paper currency. Paper money. So it was like backed. It was still backed by the gold, but they're like, hey, we'll hold on to it for you, right? Anyways, so this is kind of how money got started. But we're going to kind of fast forward to... let's do, I guess, 1821. So, the United States, right? We first came to America and first colonized in like 1607. I don't know my history apparently. It was like early 1600s though. We colonized, right? And then we had a bunch of rich people essentially. Start, these new towns and populations would pop up. So all these rich people would come over and they'd create banks there. And so they would have these banks that were, that these rich people would have, and they would loan out their money. Now, at the time, they realized, they've realized this for a long time, right? They've realized that you could, most people kept their money in the bank long term and didn't really take it out except like kind of pay bills. But so they realized that a lot of people, once you had a lot of money, a lot of people just kept it in. So they were able to loan out this money, and say like they had $1,000 in the bank, or let's say nowadays, right? They have $1 million. Well, they realized if they had $1 million in the bank, they could probably lend out a few $100,000 that they didn't actually have, because no one's taking out their money. So they were able to lend out money they actually didn't have. And right now, banks are actually legally allowed to do this. Some banks, they don't need to have a deposit at all. They don't need to prove that there's a deposit, but they can create money out of thin air and loan it to you. So some banks can create a bank and then loan money to you that they don't actually even have, right? And well, they have to have a certain amount themselves, right? But when it comes to your deposit, so there's also like 3% deposit requirements, but the average now is 10%, meaning you put in $1,000, well, 900 of that they were able to trade. So you have all these people, $10,000, 5,000. I don't know how much money you have in your bank, right? Let's take all your family combined, right? Take that money, times it by 9. That's what they're able to trade with on the markets. So when you give your money to the bank, you're actually like loaning it to them, and then they're able to do whatever they want with it. So banks end up becoming super rich. You can't, by the way, say I have $100, but I want to trade $900. You can't do that, but the banks can, right? Whatever. So, at any rate, so essentially what took place in the early 1900s, late 1800s is all these new currencies started popping up and trying to be like the main currency for the country or whatever, but didn't really work. Well, because the country was still forming, right? But you would have a currency that was like getting bigger and bigger, and so it would spill into this big populated area. And even couple counties over, they would say, okay, we know this bank, we know they're reputable, we'll take their notes, they called it, right? So you put the money in the bank gave you a note, and then you could say, hey, I have this loan from this bank. And it's like, well, anyway, so all these banks started flooding all over the East Coast, and eventually what took place is, somebody would catch wind of, hey, this bank isn't actually solvent, they don't actually have the money in the bank, and so there would be a bank run, and everyone would ask for their money, and they didn't have all the money because they were loaning it out. They were helping people with loans and building the economy, right? And this is the economy of, again, you could also argue that the way that the economy is run is also Keynesianite. If you're a Keynesian thinking of the economy, right? That's their thinking, right? Spend money. But anyways, so it's like, well, we're helping the economy grow. This is how the economy works. Keynesian thinking, right? Flood the money, the markets with money. So anyways, so they'd get asked for their money back. They didn't have it, and then all of a sudden they'd have these mini bank crashes, and it happened tons of times. Like the Great Depression was just the first massive one after they created the Federal Reserve, but there's a lot of crashes way before that. So, but they were just on smaller scales because they didn't have a national currency, right? So anyways, in the early 1900s, I think it was like 1913. Let's see, do they have that here? Oh, look, it says 1913. Weird. They actually put the date 1913, but they forgot to actually say what happened. Interesting. Federal Reserve was established. Am I just missing it? Anyway, so 1913, and this is what's crazy. In 1913, a bunch of rich bankers, so people from like Citibank and Chase Bank, got together. Well, people from like Wells Fargo, right? The big huge banks, they got together, and they're like, hey, all these banks are crashing, and all these people are running for money. We just need to be able to, hey, if these banks are crashing, we need all these other banks to like help loan the money out, so the people stop panicking and they realize, oh, nothing's wrong, and then they put the money back in the bank, and we all keep each other, like we help each other out. So that was like the premise of that, is like, let's help not have all of these small little crashes happen, and let's just kind of make everybody under the same umbrella. Now, a lot of people also, King Henry wasn't really a bad guy, by the way, but he was still a dictator, and people didn't want to be ruled by that. Not a dictator. That's the wrong. I mean, whatever. Anyways, I'm not getting into that. But people didn't want to be ruled like that anymore. So they're like, I don't want the government to be in control of the money. So little to you know, this what's crazy. We don't know who actually the Federal Reserve is, even though they have the word federal in it. They're not federal, right? It's a privately owned individual that has exclusive right on the word federal. That's the only entity that has the word federal in it. That's not no one else can call themselves the federal anything unless they're actually government. I'm pretty sure that's the truth, anyways. I'm not 100%, but they are private, 100% they are, and you don't know who's on the board of directors, and you don't know like who's getting the money. Like they're a for-profit company that loans money to the United States government, and it was created by a lot of the largest bankers. So when the economy crashes because the banks are doing stupid loans and the Fed comes in and bails the banks out, the banks are making tons of money doing stupid loans, and eventually it collapses. So then the Fed creates money, which hurts the citizens to bail themselves out. So the banks, their company, who is making tons of money with bad loans, they don't go under. But it inflates the economy, so people have more money, which can then get put back into the banks. It's like this perpetual bullcrap machine. But that started in 1913, right? So all of a sudden, all the banking was under one umbrella in the United States. So, but it's, the dollar was still backed by gold, so you're able to take your currency, back it by precious metals, and we actually knew there was an economy backed by something, so it wasn't too bad yet. It's like inching its way. And by the way, the story I'm telling you right now is the exact same story of every single fiat currency's failure. Every single one of them. We're not a failed currency yet, but 100% of them that have gone down this path have failed, and every one of them has gone down this path. So, as I'm explaining this, just know this has happened hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of times in history. Um so now all of the countries under one umbrella. It's a private entity still. Um and they're backed by precious metals. Great. So then in the 40s, 1941, 2, let's see, did they even talk about this? No. What is this chart? The world's economic history. Yet they don't talk about the Federal Reserve. They don't talk about Brexit. Why do I keep calling it Brexit? Bretton Woods. So dumb. I've called it Brexit so many times in streams, thinking I'm saying Bretton Woods, and so you're like, Brexit? What the hell are you talking about? Just replace it with Bretton Woods. But anyways, all of a sudden in the 40s, that's when the world went under the United States dollar. So the world is now backed by the United States dollar. Essentially, all these major currencies and countries, their currency is backed by the United States currency. So it'll help with worldwide economics stabilization or whatever, right? So now in the 40s, everything is backed by the dollar, and then all of a sudden in 1971, let's see, they gotta have this right there. Oh yeah, duh. This is when. Okay, so during this whole time, right, United States is doing really well. This is like the boom time for United States. Um, uh, a lot of people say this is when the United States had its like one of its best times. The average American had their best life in this time. Obviously, you got the Roaring Twenties, which interesting. Did you guys know the Spanish flu ended like right at the beginning of the Roaring Twenties? So the Spanish flu happened, huge pandemic. I don't want to say this. What we're going through right now isn't bad, but it was way worse in terms of actually people dying all over the world. And then right after the Spanish flu, Roaring Twenties. This is kind of interesting. Are we gonna have a Roaring Twenties now? Right? inspired by Bitcoin. But anyways, so yeah. So now let me just rewind again. All these banks were crashing, so we went under a one umbrella banking system in 1913. That the dollar was backed by precious metals at this time. Then the 40s happened, and the entire world went under pretty much the United States dollar, with the Bretton Woods Act, I think is what it's called. And then in 1971, all of these countries were like, this is interesting. The United States is doing very, very, very well. And so they're like, so France actually, and there's a famous speech, you can look it up, when France called out America, that led to the 1971 gold standard. I don't know. I'm sure you'll find the video if you type that in. I guess I could too, but anyways. So this happened, and now the United States isn't backed by a gold standard, and now we're a fiat currency. And this is really like, and apparently from what I hear, no one really batted an eye. Everybody was like, oh, okay, I don't know what that means. I mean, I still have the dollar and I still buy stuff, right? People didn't really understand. So somehow, like, no one's mad about this. No one really got mad about that. So now the whole world is backed by the United States dollar. And the United States dollar isn't backed by precious metals anymore, which means now the United States can print as many dollars as we want. So let's take a look at what happened in the 70s when it came to, let's see, national debt, maybe? National debt, history, USA chart. Whoops. So in the 70s, all of a sudden they can print as much money as you want. Let's see if the United States is responsible. I don't know. I'm sure there's a chart, or not flow chart, but a graph or something like that, infographic. US day. Funny the way that the United States also like talks about, like, it's just so weird that our economy is doing better than ever right now. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Just because it says that they say it. Come on, what are you talking about? Pull this up. But the line's going up. I saw it on the chart. So, like, obviously, we're doing great. Come on. Oh, here we go. So, oh, look. So we kind of stay pretty consistent. And then all of a sudden, 1971, look at that! Right on cue, it started inflating. Inflating. You got the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, and then all of a sudden the 2008 crash happened. No, this is just 2005, right? 9 trillion. So guys, check this out. You guys can't see this line, but just check this out. Right? Our national debt, and it was before the 1970, before we went off the gold standard, it was about $400 billion in debt is where we were. About right here, the entire country. So I say this all the time, but it just blows my mind. In fact, I've never actually done the calculations. Calendar? But we were $400 billion in debt. The first 200 years ish, our country was founded. Let's see. Current national debt USA. Oops. Oh. I'm building a new computer, by the way, so like hopefully, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just got a virus on this one. Come on, all. There we go. 20. Dude, no, that's not true. Okay, February 2020. Okay. There you go. Some real clock. We're like 27, I'd say, at least 26, 27, if not close to 30, more close to 30. We're probably gonna be 30 by the end of the year, I'd assume. But this is important because also, you guys, we live under Keynesian thinking, which actually isn't that different from just traditional thinking, outside the fact that Keynesians believe that sometime people need to come in and kind of make some adjustments. Like nothing's perfect, where traditional thinking is just that removed. No, the economy will fix itself. It just might take longer, right? So let's see, 28. So 28.2 is where it says our national debt is currently. So our national debt currently is $28 trillion. So 266,708. Dang it. Suck at this. 28, 266,708, 00000. Divided by 400 billion. 70. Okay. So, it took, and if we just sit where we're at right now, like it really matters. Our first 50 years, we went $400 billion in debt. Our first 200 years our country was created, we went a little under $400 billion in debt. The last 50 years, we went close to $27.8 trillion in debt in the last 50 years. So, that's 70 times more. We have increased 70 times more in the last 50 years than we did the prior 200 years. And if we stick on this track, then we will have 282x'd our debt increase since the first 50 years. That's just nuts. Now, everyone has been led to believe growing up, it's like, well, yeah, that's how everything is. But by the time the average house is $1 million, I'll be making, an average of probably 120K a year or some nonsense. Well, that's just not the case, right? So also Keynesians believe that, like, hey, you just need to start buying stuff, because buying stuff means that people sell stuff, they have money, so that money makes them want to build more stuff, which makes jobs come back on the market and trade happen more often. That's what stimulates the economy. Well, didn't that always just not make sense? If we're about to crash as an economy, people are losing their jobs, we're not going to be able to afford food and get basic stuff. So what we should do is buy a bunch of PlayStations and toys, TVs, cars, a bunch of stuff like that. And then that will help the economy and everything will be fine. Like, that's the way I've been led to believe. That's the way I was taught when I was a kid. And it never made any sense to me, but I just figured it was because I was too stupid. And I think that's the trick. I think the economists want to make this so complicated that people just feel dumb, and they're like, it's over their heads, and someone smarter than me can figure this out, or whatever, and they just figure the average person, and they're right. I mean, it's funny, I talk to friends all the time that know I do this, know I do crypto, and they know me back in the day, back when I was at high school and stuff. And they're like, dude, I would have never guessed that you would be talking about the economy and like talking about digital currencies and like weird, because I just wasn't in that mindset. 2008 happened. It was kind of weird. Growing up it was even weird in my 20s. I still believe this. And Fight Club. Have you guys seen Fight Club? It's kind of funny. It reminds me of that show. But I kind of believe that this world was a little bit, I don't know. I had a little I don't know what it was. I just thought like the right thing always, heroes always won. More people were good than bad, and the world was kind of set in this, like, I don't know. I just had this like naive perspective on who people were and my role in it, I guess. But But when 2008 happened, it was, I don't know why this is what turned me, but it made it where I realized, oh crap, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter, like, the rich and powerful are always going to rule the world. They're going to get away with everything. The 1%, the 10%, 10-90 rule, the 10% are the richest, 90% are the poorest, is going to be the 99.1, and then it will be the 99.9 to, it's just going to get worse and worse. And when, like, it was like 4 years, like nothing happened. 5 years, like all these small, like tiny little mom and pop banks got put in jail and like shut down. It's like, really, do you really think that was the bank that shut everything down, that crashed everything? So you have the major banks, and now that it's been so many years, tell me if I'm wrong. This is what the majority consensus is of what took place. There were a bunch of banks that were making stupid loans, and they were making loans to people that couldn't afford it. They weren't verifying, income, and they were putting these really risky bets on real estate, and they were passing these loans off, and they were getting approved because the people up top were putting them into these baskets of prime loans and AAA credit loans. And so these people who had a 40,000 a year income were buying a $800,000 house and getting approved as prime. And so all these people were buying these houses and pieces of property they couldn't afford, and it ended up becoming too much, and officially everything crashed, right? Now, it was real estate in 2008, but it's always something that tips the scale. But if you look back, it's, and see what's the underlining, it's the way that the economy is structured. So yeah, and this number is just going to keep going up and up. So what does that mean when we, you know, I mean, there's houses that were $400,000 in my area. There's $700,000 now, just like 5, 6 years later. There's houses that are like 20%, 20. Oh, I think the average increase just in my state was 26% just from last year. Are you kidding me? Um, there's places I see, they're like, oh yeah, this place is $1 million. And it's like, ha ha ha, yeah, it's in LA. It's like, yeah, dude, there's a little town with 8,000 people in it right there. It's the same thing right there, right? Let's go live in the middle of freaking nowhere. Yeah, 8,000 little town needs to be like at least 20 miles away from civilization for it to be a good deal. It's like so dumb. I know people that are in construction, and they're like, we are doing jobs. I have a buddy that runs a construction company. He says that he does jobs to the point where he has to stop them, and he says, okay, well, the next piece of that I can't even order, nowhere is available for 3 months, for 2 months, for 6 weeks, for whatever it is. And so he just has to half finish all these jobs, and so he has all these jobs open. He's like, they can all be done. Each job maybe has 15% left here, there, whatever, but they can't finish it until. But there's been a supply shortage, that we didn't know was coming, for a year and a half. It's weird. By the way, how else does that make sense? People are losing their jobs. They're being forced to stay home. They're getting free money, and that free money, and that incentivizes them not to get a job. And yet, people are buying houses more expensive than ever. Yeah, it's just like, what? So, anyways, um, so yeah, what's the answer to that, right? Now the United States can print as much money as they want. Um, they uh, there's nothing backing it. They're just going to keep inflating the currency, and your dollar is going to be worth less and less. And so why that's important is if you go to places like, I don't know, Greece or Venezuela, I mean, Japan a long time ago, there's a lot of big countries that went through crisis, seas. crises and got over them, right? But I was wondering if it would show me like the pictures of there's famous pictures of like chicken and stuff. I'm sure there will be. Yeah. This is what happens. I mean, we see wheelbarrows of money. Well, maybe not that, but people with wheelbarrows, right? This is a problem that's happening right now. Like, can you imagine trying to buy a meal for your family and this is the cash you need just for that? So there's a bunch of places right now, and look, here's a bunch more examples. Yeah, can you imagine? A double pack, holy crap, that scared the crap out of me. What's Ryan for the sub? So yeah, now this is happening right now in the United States. This is just not happening at this scale. But you know, you could live in a country. What if it happened in Venezuela and you went and got coffee? It was $1.60. The next day it was $1.80. The next day it was $2.10. The next day it was $2.80. The next day it was $4.10. Right? And then your pay changes maybe once a month, but you know, they maybe increase it a little bit here and there. When it increases that fast, it's just hard to deal with. And so economies end up crashing. And then how economies end up crashing is they get consumed or transformed into another one, which I believe is what's going to happen with the United States currency. I guess what I believe is going to happen is the United States is going to digitize the dollar. Isn't going to do anything but make it easier to print money. I think that is going to get out of control, and eventually the whole world is going to go on some sort of digital world currency. And in fact, I saw a thing like last year, beginning this year, Bretton Woods 2.0. I'm spelling that wrong. I probably am. But they actually have been talking about this. The IMF. Hey, look, that's me. So yeah, I made a video on this a long time ago as well. But the IMF, which is this, right, and the Federal Reserve, they are talking about getting together and putting the whole world on a digital currency. They don't say it's because of Bitcoin, but the IMF, you guys, officially, I think they were the ones who said the words Bretton Woods 2.0. Yes, I did. Wait, I think I have it right here. Oh, it's on my bookshelf. I have the Internet of Money here by Andreas Antonopoulos, but yeah, that's a good book. In fact, Rhett, the Bitcoin private guy, he actually sent me a free copy. That was the first thing I ever got from crypto, was the Bitcoin private guy. Rhett, what's his last name? Rhett. I thought I'd be able to. Anyways, yeah, it's good. But yeah, they actually. Oh, so here it is. Look, IMF.org. A new Bretton Woods moment. So that's pretty gnarly. So the IMF is already talking about digitizing the dollar. By the way, do you think they would be talking about digitizing the dollar if Bitcoin wasn't here? So I guess here's the ending of my whole spiel of what's happening with the economy and what's happened with every single economy ever in existence that took place on a fiat currency. By the way, fiat currency is not money. Money is hard money, right? It's money. Fiat currency is just currency. I love that book. I'm gonna look that up. Do you have any other suggestions of best books? I've only read like 4 crypto books, so I probably should read more myself. And I don't even read them. I like skim through them. You know, I started reading what was it? It was another Andreas Antonopoulos book, and it was talking about Bitcoin coding, or was it? No, it was Bitcoin coding, and I was like, what the freak is this book even talking about? And then he's like, yeah, you should probably not buy that book unless you're a coder. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense, hopefully. or else I'm really stupid. One of the two, probably both. Um, but yeah, so at any rate, this whole Bretton Woods digital dollar wouldn't even be the IMF, the Federal Reserve, they wouldn't even be talking about digitizing the dollar if Bitcoin wasn't around. So I didn't even know what Bitcoin was when I first heard about it. I was misinformed. Somebody sold it to me in a weird, dumb way, scammy way. I wonder how many people was introduced into Bitcoin in a scam, because my first way was a scam. I didn't buy into it, but at first thing I heard about it was kind of scammy. And then maybe even the second and third thing was scams of people taking advantage of Bitcoin. But it's funny, I've even talked about it, highlighted it. Today we face a new Bretton Woods moment, an economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4 smaller this year and strip an estimated 11 trillion of output by next year. We have seen a global fiscal actions of 12 trillion. Major central banks have expanded balance sheets by 7.5 trillion. We must seize this new Bretton Woods moment. So yeah, and this is in 2020. Risk presented by elevated public debt. We expect 2021 debt levels to go up significantly, around 125% of GDP in advanced economies, 65% of GDP in emerging markets, and 50% GDP in low-income countries. We should move towards to a greater debt transparency and enhanced creditor coordination. Jeez. And investing in our young people is investing in our future. Then buy Bitcoin. Then don't create a stupid, old, broken system digitized in an old, regulated, broken way and just buy Bitcoin. If this statement is true, you filthy little liars. Okay. Expanding the internet access. Oh, look, they actually are making great points. Expanding internet access in countries that don't have the internet could increase GDP. Yeah, if they're forcing them to buy your economy, or if we could just make them get internet, then they could do that with Bitcoin. And then you don't have to create a whole new system that's controlled by yourself. The last decade, direct damage for climate-related disasters adds up to around... Oh, don't talk about the climate. You don't give a crap about the climate unless it's in your agenda. Since the pandemic begins, we have committed over 100 billion. Woo, 100 billion. Wow, that's like not even 10% of what was created for the corporations when we built out the United States citizens. You can do 1 trillion. Oh, that's cute. That's not even 40% of what you promised the Americans when you actually gave them less than 1%. Doubling the new arrangements and borrowing a new round of bilateral borrowing. Sorry, this is just stupid bullcrap. So anyways, yeah, the IMF is going to digitize the dollar and it's just going to fail. People are getting smarter and they're not... Maybe I should back that statement up, huh? But I feel like a lot of people are more invested in themselves and learning about this stuff and not trusting people. I think that's important. People are less trusting than they were before. I think, would you agree? Do you think people are more trusting now than they were in the 50s or less, right? I think people, but I don't think they're as aggressive about it. I think people just, hey, I understand people lie. That's why I don't believe you. I'm going to look up 3 or 4 sources before I, make my own opinion. I think more people are inclined that way. Thanks, Facebook, right? Just kidding. But I love the statement she actually did say right here. We should move towards greater debt transparency and enhanced credit. Well, I don't know about that. Enhanced creditor coordination. Maybe, yeah. But this is what's really important. This is what Bitcoin solves, right? Now, here's the deal. All Bitcoin really does, on the surface of why people are buying Bitcoin right now, people aren't looking at Bitcoin as an internet money, as a new technology that's going to build new technologies. They don't look at it like that. They look at it as it's an internet. Well, again, I don't know who you are, but a lot of people look at Bitcoin as a store of value. Of, hey, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, so if I buy Bitcoin right now, then I know that nobody can create it, kind of like gold. So they're looking at it like gold. But gold can't create a layer on the internet, right? You can't send it to somebody in Africa a second later for free, right? Or very, very low cost. So great, the gold's great. We love the fact that there's limited amount of gold. But let's take that limited amount of value and now let's incorporate that into technology that we have today. And so kind of interesting because a lot of this Bitcoin technology has existed for a long time. You know, you look at e-gold, right? Or, anyways, I'm not gonna, my internet's been funky right now, but there's a lot of technologies that existed that Bitcoin kind of leashed off of to make Bitcoin back in the day. But, yeah, in fact, Nick Zabos almost created a Bitcoin type of money, but he was the owner. It had a company building, right? And so they had to shut it down. So Bitcoin was kind of like the decentralized, upgraded version of that. But essentially, all Bitcoin was able to do was make it where you don't need to trust a third party anymore, and it's all open on a decentralized network, and you know, decentralized ledger. And those are just buzzwords now to people, but decentralized means it's not owned or operated by one entity. That's important, right? The government is central. It's a centralized entity. The way our entire economy is the way that you're okay. Here's kind of also how I see. Okay, this is how I feel like you should look at the economy, the United States increasing the money supply and just flooding the markets with money. Because what they're really kind of doing is they're stealing your life away hour by hour by doing that. And what I mean by that is, unless you're a multimillionaire, unless you can wake up every single day and do whatever you want, then you are under the control of our economy way. Now, everyone's under control, you know, in a sense, but what I mean by that is, let's say what takes, you know, the house that you wanted. It used to cost 500 grand. It used to cost 300, 400 grand. Now that house, that $500,000 house is now $700,000. So now you have $200,000 more of money, and there's going to be interest on it and all this stuff. So maybe it's $300,000 more when everything is said and done. Extra money that you have to spend that you wouldn't because the economy is inflating. So now that's going to take an extra 8 years of work to pay off. So what they're doing is essentially saying, I'm going to make you have to work 8 years longer in your life to get the same amount as your kid or as your whatever, right? And that's what they're doing. When you inflate the economy and keep adding dollars and adding free money, okay, we had you guys saw on the chart earlier, we were $9 trillion in debt in 2005. Okay, well, we're now $30 trillion in debt in 2020. So we're 3 times more in debt than we were, 15 years ago. And that just doesn't make sense. We're 3 times as much in debt than we were 15 years ago. As an entire country. I never even thought about it that way. Wonder when we were at 10 or at a 15 trillion. Wonder when we doubled our debt. In the last 5 years, we doubled our entire debt as a nation. But you guys do realize that we've tripled our debt as a nation in the last like 15 years. This country has been around since 1776, right? We first established, I think we were first colonized in like 1607 or something like that. So, and now we've tripled our debt in the past 15 years. So in your lifetime, what? You're gonna 7-8x the entire national debt from the first 250 years the country was created. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. And yet no one really cares. And I think it's just because everything is just made confusing, and I don't really know, dude. It's weird. But I realized the other day, there was somebody I looked up to, kind of. I mean, when I was younger, I did for sure. And I saw them as like somebody who's smarter and, whatever. And they probably are, actually. But they said something to me about Bitcoin. They said, well, yeah, well, I guess it's all right. Well, I guess it depends. How much money do you make? Have you made on it? Anyways, I don't remember what they said, but the reasoning, and I told them what Bitcoin was. I told them why I liked it. Told them that's technology, dude. Anybody with the internet can now have a bank account. 2/3 of the world do not have banks, and now anybody now with the internet access can have a bank account. So now people in Venezuela, people in Greece, people in these failing countries now don't have to rely on a country currency that's inflating like crazy, and they can rely on a more stable currency. So your currency inflates 3-4x, you can hop into Bitcoin, which has been increasing. Oh yeah, it went from 20,000 to 3,000. Okay, well it went from $30 down to $3. Should you have not bought Bitcoin at that time? Was buying Bitcoin at $30 a stupid decision? No, you just had to wait a few months, right? At that time, you waited 3 years, and that 20,000 was passed up again, right? So, would you rather have what do you call it, a volatile um, um, currency that rises in price year over year, over 100 and I think it's like 150% year over year since its creation? Or would you rather have a currency that's 100% deflated? And so I think just, anyways, people's misconception what Bitcoin is. But anyways, and that person was, well, yeah, well, it also made me realize for the first time, because I thought I have a worldly issue. I'm trying to get, I wish I could just not give a crap and live like a monk. It'd be so dope if I could be that way, but I'm trying to like, but it was the first time I was like, yeah, I don't care. You're missing the point. And it actually made me mad. I didn't yell at the person or anything, but I was just like, are you kidding me? This is the person you are? Did you just not hear what I just said? It's like, obviously you don't give a crap about anyone but yourself. It's kind of what I felt like. Obviously I was just being over dramatic, and I might do that a lot, but anyways, it was just like, this technology is going to change the world. I really do believe that. I have no doubt in my mind. And by the way, I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to be the one that changes everything, right? Bitcoin started it, and I do think that Bitcoin is going to be it. But I'm, things change a lot. So, there could be something in the future that does something that builds off of this technology. But yeah, the way that our current economy is, and it doesn't matter what country you're in the same mess. The entire world's on a fiat currency. It's going down the same path. So that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's a trustless system. I have a question. Can you tell me about your Bitcoin crypto journey? What is the scam you're talking about? Oh, in the beginning. Okay, all I meant by that was, I have family that does like network marketing, internet marketing. That's like a bunch of like funky, kind of weird things. And there's a lot of shady people in those industries that like kind of don't care about you. They'll lie and I've been around, that. And I'm in sales too. So like I just see that everywhere. It's like it makes sales really easy actually, because most salesmen are pieces of garbage, and it's like you just gotta not be a piece of garbage, and you get to people trust you. It's like for real. But anyways, when I got into crypto, there was just so many programs that were like, and I don't want to blast somebody's name, but let's just say 10 coins to 10 million. That's not what it is. It's a different coin type and a different coin amount and a different dollar amount. But if you type that in, I'm sure you'll see what I mean. These people that have a lot of followers and money, they can shut down channels like mine so easy. So I got to be careful with what I say. They say report that channel, and then I'm taken down. But there's people that'll charge you thousands of dollars just for their picks of their coins. And by the way, these programs, you can find out what those coins are for free, right? People like, that are in their 30s, 30s. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm that age. People that are in their like 50s, 60s, 70s, old people, you know, um, they don't understand, you know, the way the world works. I don't know. And they just get scammed easy. So I have people in their 50s, 60s all the time be like, "Hey, this person told me they'll guarantee 100x if I give them $1,000," and it's just like, what? First of all, if anybody guarantees you returns, it's a scam. If anybody ever guarantees you returns, don't trust them. If it was the financial markets, the regulated ones, you wouldn't be allowed to say that. You can say we average this. You can't guarantee. But there's people that guarantee because it's crypto. It's like Wild West. You can say a lot of things that you're not allowed to say with the financial markets. You can say this coin's going to $1 million and be a billionaire and put like $10 million into it because of the social media. It boosts the coin up, right? Now there are people that do get sued, and say let's I don't know, and then there will be a law or a rule created because of that lawsuit. But there's a lot of stuff that currently just hasn't been tested yet, and so there's just a lot of people. I mean, I just think that information should be free no matter what, which makes it really hard because I want to do crypto forever. I want this to be my full-time job, and people are like, okay, we have to start charging people for programs. I'm like, what program would I charge people for? Like, just because you know crypto, so charge them to talk to you. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like that. I'm always going to be free. I'm always going to have this. Maybe if I have to do one-on-one, I hate teaching people about, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm glad they're interested, but it takes a long time to show people how to set up exchanges, KYC, how trading works, how, trading pairs work, all that sort of stuff. I just, stuff like that I might, eventually, but I don't know I don't know what it is. And this channel goes straight to everything that YouTube gives me goes straight to charity, so I don't really know. But in the beginning, I just come across so many people, projects that claim they're gonna moon and all this sort of stuff. I just did an interview with Fabian Vogelsteller, and he said something interesting that I'm sure is gonna stick with me. And that is the best projects that have ever existed in crypto have done no marketing, right? And he gave examples of Bitcoin and Ethereum that they've paid $0 for marketing, right? And as soon as he said that, I thought of Tesla, right? Elon Musk. He has word of mouth. That's what he relies off of. You don't see Tesla commercials on television. You don't see Tesla billboards out there and advertisements everywhere, right? Um, so, um, so yeah, and that's actually kind of one of the reasons why I created this channel is just because there's so many people that were getting scammed and ripped off. And I was just like, look, if you tell me about that program, I will tell you what their program is for free. I'm not going to make a video about it because, again, I don't want to get in trouble, but you shouldn't have to pay somebody thousands of dollars to get their picks, right? And then what are they going to say? Buy Chainlink, buy Cardano and Chainlink and Luxo, right? Why? Because Chainlink has links and chains together. Whatever. Anyways, I'm just being stupid, but I just think information should be free, and people that charge outrageous amounts of money for these programs, it's a ripoff, and you should instead spend that money on Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? I've been doing this since 2017 daily. Every single day, I'm in this for a couple of hours at least. Sometimes more, sometimes less. My job's been pretty demanding lately, but um, during that time, oh, okay. I guess let me put it this way. How many Ethereum coins have there been minted? Ugh, dang it, stupid images. ERC 20. I'm pretty sure it's like 300,000. There we go. So in 2019, all right, there's got to be 300 plus thousand. ERC20 token is a token that you're able to create. So I can create my own crypto project, and I can create it off an ERC20 token. I'd be part of this 200,000. So there's probably 300,000 ERC20 tokens that have been created. Projects have been created only on Ethereum, by the way. You can build projects on Tron. There's lots of other companies you can build off of, but just with Ethereum, it's been, well, I'm going to say 300K since 2019. But even 200K, let's take a look at CoinGecko and see how many crypto projects exist. Hey, and by the way, this guy who says he guarantees 50x returns on your little free tokens, well, I already have, I've posted on my Twitter just in the past 8 months, and there's 3 of those tokens, I think, maybe 4, that have done like 50, 60x. There's one that's close to 100x. Wait. Yeah, there's one that's over 100x. No, there's 2 that's over 100x. Oh, no, that's just when I bought them. There's 2 that are like at 70 or 80x. I posted the trade like 3 days later on my Twitter, and it went up like double in price, and that just killed it, or 30%. I don't know, whatever. But I post all my trades on Twitter. Just go to Skystroke Crypto, look at my pinned tweet, and just go through. XOR is like $800. I don't know. I know Kusama is like $400. I think this is going to go $4,000. I think this is going to be a multi-$1,000 coin. So this will be 100x very soon. The XOR is going to be 100x soon, right? Just on this one tweet, right? Anyways, sorry, I'm being cocky right now. I'm just super upset about all these YouTubers that claim that they're these knees. There's a YouTuber out there, you guys, he has 250,000 followers. I saw a video of his. He said, how I made $1 million in 30 seconds. And then he just posted a trade where he put $3.5 million and did a 4x leverage. And it's like, yeah, you made $1 million by being super risky with millions of dollars. By the way, how many times have you lost lots of money doing that? Make a video about that. How I lost $180,000 6 times before I made $1.5 million and just made my losses back. All right? Anyways. I challenge any YouTuber to post your trades live. Let's do a coin. Let's compare every single trade. I don't care about your money. Yeah, you put in $3 million. I'm putting in 30K or whatever. 3,000. The percentages is what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, dude! Speaking of that, I made a really big mistake. But that big mistake is like, it's not much, but maybe I shouldn't say I did this. It was an accident. It was a true accident, though. Yeah, I made like $1,000 on complete accident by borrowing money I shouldn't have, and then I'm just borrowing it for 6 days, and they're taking the money back, but I get to keep the profits. It's like super surreal. I need to make that mistake more often. Anyways, look, 7,000 coins. So there's 7,000 coins right now that's traded on 2 exchanges, and there's been over 300,000 coins just minted with Ethereum. Yet, I bet every single coin says that they're going to be the next latest and greatest. They're going to be the next Bitcoin. They're the next Ethereum. They're the next big thing, right? So, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to scams and stuff. You just got to be careful and see through the noise. And by the way, bots, every single video I make, like the first 2 comments are like a bot. And they're like, I really agree with everything you said. I really believe in Bitcoin. And I remember my journey starting Bitcoin. And then like a paragraph later, it's like, I was on Instagram and spoke with Dr. Whatever. I invested 7 Ethereum and he could do the same for you. And I made 800% returns or whatever. And then there's a bunch of bots that comment and they're like, oh yeah, I do the same thing. I met that guy. So yeah, got to be careful with that. Anything that's like a ad for the most part, you just got to be careful about. I should make a video on how to research projects. I think that would actually help solve the scammy part. We just got to go on there. You got to research the project, the white paper, the advisors, the people who created the project. You got to look at all their social medias. You got to see, just what's going on. And you can kind of get a good idea if a project's a scam from then on. And by the way, just because a project is in the top 10 doesn't mean it's a scam. You can kind of say that Dogecoin's a scam, but it's a scam that everyone loves. It's a beloved scam. Everyone's on board with the scam. Yeah, Dogecoin's just a rip off and it's just a fork and it's just a stupid coin we make fun of crypto for. But I'm gonna buy it because Dogecoin to the moon. I'm not making fun of Dogecoin, by the way. I actually own some, so yeah. I've owned some for a long time. It's in an offline wallet. Um, but yeah, let's see. I've been an hour and 7 minutes. I always do streams like right at this time. I'm gonna hop off though. Looks like we're done with ideas. The green screen makes it look cool. We make fun water. Space coat. But yeah, I'm gonna take off. I am making a video about the deep web. It's coming out. I've actually started editing on it and stuff like that. I started editing on two of them. I'm gonna do a series. I just slow my roll and just start doing one. Yeah, so I'm making a video on that. If anybody wants me to talk about any specific projects or has video ideas that you guys want me to make or whatever, I'm trying to like make onboarding on crypto a lot easier, but yeah, I thought about making a video of just like my most used tools. So I just have like a bunch of. Wait, I don't want to pull this up. Right, I called it a folder because I was afraid of you saying my important folder names. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna take off. Wait, also, wait? Let me read these before. See those. Oh yeah, Patcoin. Jeez, I haven't heard Patcoin in a long time. I like free. Sounds like please. I would like to see. Okay. Also, did you know ETH is deflationary? Okay, so yes, I make fun of Ethereum all the time because of the fact that it has an unlimited supply. But here's the deal with Ethereum: is it's centralized and it's inflationary currently. And I mean, I don't wait. Did they pass that deflationary? Actually, I think they did pass it. So it actually might be deflationary now. But what I mean by that is the Ethereum can still create tokens if they wanted to, and they're still under control. It's not fully decentralized yet. But by the way, I do not think that that's a problem. I think, oh shoot, look at that 3900. I think you need a lot of projects to be very centralized in the beginning because people don't know what the heck they're doing, right? I mean, imagine if everybody in Uniswap said, all right, get rid of all the Uniswap staff. And they're like, okay, well, then you just killed the project, you know? So what, I mean, if there's a bunch of dumb people who did that, I mean, heck, it would seem a good idea for a competitor to like buy a heck of tokens, wait for it to pump, and then like start messing with it. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I like Ethereum, and there's a big battle that goes on between all the cryptos, and it's either Bitcoin or nothing. I'm not a maximalist. I think that the ecosystem is going to be pretty vast. I think Bitcoin is going to be the money of the internet. I think Ethereum probably is going to be the world computer, or whatever you want to call it. Have a long ways to go though, and I think it needs to do. People are like, it just needs to do like 100,000 transactions per second. No, it needs to do probably tens, if not hundreds of millions of transactions per second eventually to be the new world crypto computer or whatever. I don't care about Binance coins, garbage. I don't care it's pumped up hella. I don't care that it was at $8 a couple of years ago. It's still a garbage coin. Great. You have fan freaking tastic gains, garbage company. Dogecoin's just a meme. I love Dogecoin. Who doesn't love Dogecoin? And hey, it may end up having value one day. But but just know it was created to make fun of these coins. Because these coins pump when they have no value. So this is the ultimate meme on crypto. XRP is controlled by freaking Gavin, freaking Brant. Oh my gosh, AOL dude. Oh my gosh, Brian Armstrong. Jeez. Wait. No, I'm thinking I'm getting names wrong. Brian Armstrong, he runs XR. Wait, no, that's Coinbase. Dang it, what's his name? AOL guy, whatever. I'm blanking. I don't think I've ever blanked his name. Anyway, he started XRP. I don't like XRP. It's a centralized version to create the current that fixes or helps improve the current economic infrastructure. Cool, but I would rather improve it in a way by creating something better instead of putting a band-aid on a broken system. So I think XRP is a band-aid. So I'm sure this will go over $4. I'm positive it's going to go well over 4. I mean, not positive, but if someone told me, like, is this going to go to $0 or $4 first, and I'll give you $1 million for whatever answer, I would choose the $4 for sure. I would choose the $10 before the 0. Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. A lot of people don't like Charles because he's kind of like not a programmer. He's more like he found a bunch of venture capitalists, and anyways, Cardano says that they're doing things the right way. They're getting all these papers approved and stuff, and then they build the code, where Ethereum just builds the code. When something breaks, they fix it. That's the way he explains it anyways. I don't know. I hold some Cardano. I actually just traded a lot of it for Luxo, but that's probably a bad idea because it's probably going to go to $3-4, I would assume, very soon, within the next month or two, if not more, right? Polkadot. I love Polkadot. Why am I talking about projects? I don't know what happened. Yeah, not Chris Larson. Brad. Who is XRP CEO? I don't know why it bothers me so much. Brad Garling. Oh, there we go. Dude, why was I... Whatever. Anyways, I think he's actually a pretty talented guy. He helped AOL in its heydays, right? So nothing, it's a business. I just don't. I like to invest in businesses that I believe in. I believe behind the company, their values, so investing to me is very personal. I don't know why it is. It shouldn't be. I should be more logical when it comes to stuff like that, but it's hard for me to invest in a company I don't like. It's garbage. Now I'm giving that company money. It's just hard for me. And I understand I'm losing probably a lot of money thinking that way, but it helps my soul feel better. Polkadot is made by Gavin Wood. This is going to be a freaking... I mean, this is a... I was like, holy crap, there's no way. This is a $40 billion market cap. It will be Ethereum's market cap. It's going to be a competitor to Ethereum when it comes to market cap size, I believe anyways. So, although I'm about to get rid of my Polkadot and trade it, almost all of it, like 85% of it, I'm going to trade it for Kusama. I haven't done it yet, but I will. Load up that a little heavier. I don't like Bitcoin Cash. It's great. It works. The technology works. It's faster than Bitcoin, but I don't care if it, the whole drama behind the whole Bitcoin Cash separation, I wasn't a big fan of. And, I'm just going to use Litecoin if I'm going to do that. But whatever. So I do like Litecoin. Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, is freaking awesome. He actually called the top. He told everybody to sell their Litecoin and expect a 90% plus drop, which happened, right? So you can't hate that. I'm sure this coin's going to do phenomenal. But I'm actually not invested a single penny in the Litecoin. It just doesn't excite me anymore. I don't know what it is. It's just like, if I'm going to invest in Litecoin, I might as well throw in Bitcoin is what I feel like, even though this proves I shouldn't do that, right? If I really want to get those gains during alt season. Love, little Sergey. Love Chainlink. This connects the outside world to blockchain. So if you want to bet on a game and cryptocurrency, it'll be able to get accurate information in the outside world. And that way mistakes aren't made when it comes to smart contracts, making bets, or I don't know why I always talk about gambling. It's just the easiest to understand, I think. Love Uniswap. Big holder of Uniswap. I actually got the airdrop a long time ago. Decentralized. I think this is going to overtake Binance. I hope it does. I hope we live in a world where Uniswap overtakes a Binance and not a centralized piece of crap company. I like Binance in the sense they're getting eyes on crypto and all that jazz, but whatever. I don't hold any BNB anymore. But major holder in Uniswap. Why am I going through all these? I don't know what happened. But anyways, my favorite project right now is Luxo. I guess I'll end just bragging about Luxo. You guys all know I love Luxo. Although more than 90% of you aren't even subscribed to me. Even live streams. People like watch an entire hour and they're not subscribed to me. And they will never subscribe to me. It's like surreal. Spend an hour of your life listening to some dumb idiot talk and then you're just like, done. I just wasted that time. Down thumb. This is my favorite project, and the reason why, if you guys don't know, I'm not going to say why. I haven't made a video on Lux, so go check it out. But the greedy side of me is really excited about the market cap, 171. I believe this absolutely 100% will be a multi-billion-dollar project. But it being at 171, like it's got a 5x for sure on its way. So yeah, I think its next pump is going to pass its 28 buck high or whatever. It's probably going to get up to, maybe even $100. I don't know. Might settle around the $60 range or something, $60-$70 range. I don't know. That's my just random guesstimation. I look at this chart so much. Chart reading's fun, and if you chart read, I don't really put much stock into chart reading, but if you do TA, technical analysis, which I normally do on TradingView. The TradingView chart never works on CoinGecko for me. Check out the 90-day on that. Why move to Kusama? Oh, the move to Kusama is because Kusama is going to be doing their parachain auctions before DOT. So I think Kusama is going to pump before DOT does for sure. And Kusama is Polkadot, right? It's the base code. The Polkadot just forked from Kusama. So a lot of people call Kusama the Litecoin of Bitcoin. I don't believe that. I think it's actually Litecoin is not. It is a different analogy, but Kusama is a different project, but it does have a lot of the same code. But dude, if you TA, look how beautiful this looks. Now I also don't know time frames. I'm really bad with time frames. I have found my strength is finding projects with worth and value. I'm not good at trading. I should stop doing that. Because trading is still emotional for me, even after years. I won't lose money. I just won't make as much as I would like. Then it really affects me. But like, hey, if I were to put, $5,000 in Kusama when it was at $10, heck, it's at 400 right now. I'd be doing really good, but I did. I put in a couple hundred, right? But yeah, I think Kusama, and if you look at Kusama as well, KSM, Polkadot's at like what, 40 million? Ooh, 450. It's at a $4 billion market cap. So I guess I see Kusama doing a 10x easier than Polkadot doing a 3 or 4x, I guess. And I think their prices are very well correlated together. One of my buddies has like 150 grand from Kusama. He put in like $3,000 or $4,000 when I did back in the day. I don't remember what it was. Whatever it was, he has like 150K. I'm just like, what the mother? Don't you love it when you give someone advice about a Luxo, and then they put in like 20,000, 40,000. I don't know what it was, but they did it when it was like $5. I was like, damn, dude. Where's my 5% commission fee? Just kidding. But yeah, I love Kusama. Kusama. My buddy told me if it hits $1 million, he'll buy me any Tesla I want, and I'm like, bro, Teslas are getting like $250,000 a car. You willing to do that? I wouldn't get that one though. Anyways, I'm done though with the stream. Oh, I guess before I leave, if you are still on, could you please subscribe to, wait, what is this? I want to do streams every day, you guys, for reals. Wait, Skystruck live. Pretty much every day. But I can't do it on this computer because I work, and sometimes I'm like driving. I'm doing like a 45-minute drive, and I just want to like chat. I like drive with the camera on me, right? But I have 11 subscribers. If I get to 100 subscribers on my Skystruck Live, it will allow me to stream anywhere on my phone. So that's all I want 100 subscribers for. But then I'll be streaming every single day. And the reason I want to do that is I want to talk about news and stuff and crazy stuff that goes on. And I don't want to wait until Sunday. And sometimes I just want to like chit chat about little things that just popped up. And that way I don't have to do hour videos. I can just do little 5-10 minute videos, streams, 15-minute, whatever, talking about news or upcoming this or that. And then just stay a little bit more in touch, I guess. So if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing that'd be awesome. Look, I even subscribed to myself because that's how cool I am. Anyways, I'm gonna take off. Super appreciate you guys. I got a Mother's Day food here, dinner, whatever in a bit. So I am NR12.